The starship Horizon drifted silently at the edge of Alpha Centauri. This was humanity's first journey to another star system. Captain Taewon Kim stood on the bridge. His eyes were fixed on the main screen that showed the vast darkness of space. "Captain, we have something on long-range sensors," said Officer Jinwoo. His voice was calm, but his hands shook slightly. Taewon walked over to Jinwoo's station. "What is it?" "It's big. Very big. And it's moving toward us." Jinwoo pointed to a blinking dot on his screen. The entire bridge crew fell silent. They had trained for this moment for years, but nobody truly believed they would meet aliens on their first mission beyond the solar system. "Keep all weapons offline," ordered Taewon. "Prepare the communication systems." Science Officer Ju Ri looked up from her station. "Captain, they're sending us a signal. It's complex. The computer is trying to decode it." Minutes passed in tense silence. The alien ship grew larger on their screen. It was beautiful, shining with a blue-green light, shaped like a giant leaf floating through space. "We have translation," announced Juri finally. "They want to speak with us." The main screen flickered. An alien face appeared. It had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its skin was pale blue with small scales. When it spoke, its voice sounded like singing. "Greetings, unknown vessel. I am Commander Iridian of the Galactic Conclave. We detect you are from a system, not yet in our records." Taewon stepped forward. "I am Captain Taewon Kim of the Earthship Horizon. We come in peace from the planet Earth." The alien tilted its head. "We would like to meet with you in person. Would you permit us to dock our shuttle with your ship?" After a quick discussion with his officers, Taewon agreed. The crew prepared the main docking bay and a welcome party. Security Officer Minho arranged his team carefully. "No visible weapons," Taewon reminded everyone. "This is a historic moment." The alien shuttle was small and elegant. It attached to the horizon with a soft hum. When the airlock opened, 3 aliens stepped through. Commander Iridian was in front with 2 others close behind. "Our atmosphere sensors indicate your air is breathable for us," said Iridian. "We thank you for your welcome." The aliens toured the ship, showing great interest in everything. They seemed especially fascinated by the crew quarters and the mess hall. "You eat together?" asked one alien named Tarak. "This is unusual for, predator species." Taewon frowned. "Predator species?" Iridian's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "Yes?" "Your physical characteristics. Forward-facing eyes, teeth for tearing flesh, your clear pack-hunting behaviors. You evolved as predators, did you not?" Medical Officer Yuna nodded. "Humans evolved from omnivorous primates. Our ancient ancestors were both hunters and gatherers." The aliens suddenly moved closer together. Taewon noticed their skin color darkened slightly. "And yet you have no defensive implants," said Iridian. His voice was different now, more cautious. "No biological shields, no neural blockers." "We don't understand," said Taewon. "Why would we need those things?" Iridian's large eyes studied Taewon carefully. "To survive the other predators on your world, to avoid being hunted." Yuna smiled. "Humans became the dominant species on Earth long ago. We have no natural predators." The 3 aliens looked at each other. They made soft clicking sounds that the translators couldn't catch. "You mean," Iridian said slowly, "you were never prey? Your species developed as apex predators?" "Yes," replied Taewon. "Is that unusual?" The alien stepped back. Tarak touched a small device on his wrist. "We must report this immediately." Iridian's voice was formal now. "Captain Taewon, your ship is invited to follow us to the nearest conclave station. The council will want to meet your species." After the aliens returned to their shuttle, Taewon gathered his senior officers. "Did we say something wrong?" asked Minho. Juri shook her head. "I don't think so, but I think we surprised them. Very few species reach space travel without significant genetic modification. They seem shocked that we evolved naturally as we are." Later that night, as the Horizon followed the alien ship deeper into the Alpha Centauri system, Taewon reviewed the day's recordings. He paused when he heard Iridian's final words, spoken quietly to Tarek as they entered their shuttle. A species of natural predators who developed space travel without destroying themselves. The Council must know immediately. This changes everything. We understood about sentient evolution. Taewon looked out at the stars. Humanity's first contact had gone peacefully, but he couldn't shake the feeling that being human meant something very different in the galaxy than anyone on Earth had ever imagined. 3 months after the first contact near Alpha Centauri, the Earthship Horizon reached the massive conclave station. It hung in space like a giant wheel with spokes connecting to a central hub. Lights sparkled across its surface, making it look like a city in space. Ambassador Hanyul Song led the human delegation. She wore her formal blue uniform with Earth's new space emblem. Behind her walked Captain Taewon Kim, Science Officer Juri Park, and 5 other crew members. They had trained for weeks on alien customs, but still felt nervous. "Remember," Hanyul said quietly, "we represent all of humanity now." The docking bay opened to reveal a large room filled with different alien species. Some walked on 4 legs, others floated above the ground. Some were small like children, others towered 3 meters tall. Their skin showed every color: blue, green, purple, and colors humans had no names for. An alien stepped forward. It was Commander Iridian, who they had met before. "Welcome to Central Station," said Iridian. "The Conclave Council is waiting for you." They walked through wide hallways where aliens of all kinds moved about their business. Some stopped to watch the humans pass. Many moved away quickly as if afraid. "Why do they seem scared of us?" whispered Juri to Taiwan. "I'm not sure," he replied, "but I plan to find out." The council chamber was a huge round room. Seats rose in circles around a central platform. 73 different alien representatives sat watching as the humans entered. The head counselor, a tall being with silvery skin, spoke first. "We welcome Earth to this gathering of civilizations. For billions of years, life has evolved across our galaxy. Today we add another voice to our chorus." After formal greetings, the council began asking questions about Earth. They wanted to know about human history, technology, and biology. Many questions seemed strange to the humans. "How did your species overcome your natural aggression?" asked one counselor. "What methods did you use to remove hunting instincts from your genetics?" asked another. Hanyul looked confused. "We didn't remove anything from our genetics. Humans still have the same basic biology as our ancestors." The room grew very quiet. The head counselor leaned forward. "You mean to tell us that your species still carries its predator instincts? You have made no biological changes to reduce aggression?" "No," said Hanyul. "We learned to control our behavior through culture, laws, and education." Whispers spread through the council. Some aliens looked alarmed. Later that day, Hanyul met with Iridian in a private room. She needed answers. "Please explain why everyone seems so worried about us," she said. Iridian's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "In the history of our galaxy, there is a pattern. Most intelligent species evolved from prey animals, creatures that survived by hiding, running, or working together. My people evolved from herd animals that lived in colonies. The Zorans evolved from burrowing creatures. The Kelti evolved from flying creatures that escaped predators in the air. And humans?" asked Hanyul. "You evolved as predators. Forward-facing eyes for hunting, teeth for tearing meat, bodies built for chasing prey. This is very rare. Why? Because predator species usually destroy themselves before reaching space," said Iridian. "Their aggression turns inward. They fight wars with weapons that grow more powerful until they wipe themselves out." Hanyul thought about human history, all the wars, the close calls with nuclear weapons. "We came close to that fate," she admitted. "Yet, you survived," said Iridian. "This is why the Council is both fascinated and frightened by humans. You carry the instincts of hunters, yet you built a civilization advanced enough to reach the stars." The next day, the human delegation watched recordings of other species' histories. They learned that most aliens had evolved strict rules against violence. Their societies were built on complete cooperation. The idea of war was foreign to many. Of them. The first law binds all sentient life, explained a teacher. We do not harm other sentients. It is not just a rule, it is part of who we are. That evening, Hanul sat with her team. They see us as dangerous, said Taiwan. As predators among sheep. Hanul nodded. We need to show them that humans can be more than our biology, that we choose peace, even though we're capable of violence. Tomorrow, the council votes on whether to fully accept Earth into the conclave, said Juri. What if they say no? Hanul looked out the window at the stars. Then we prove them wrong. We show the galaxy what humans can be when we're at our best. 1 Earth year after humanity joined the Galactic Conclave, the crew of the patrol ship Stellar Wind received an emergency signal. Captain Do-hyun Kang was eating dinner when the alarm sounded. He rushed to the bridge, still wiping his mouth. With a napkin. Report, he ordered as he took his seat. Officer Soo-jin looked up from her console. Distress call from a conclave science vessel. They're under attack in the Tau Ceti system. Do-hyun frowned. Attack? That's impossible. The conclave has been at peace for 700 years. The message is clear, Captain, said Soo-jin. They specifically requested human assistance. The Stellar Wind changed course immediately. As the fastest ship in the sector, they reached Tau Ceti in just 14 hours. Through the view screen they saw the science vessel. It was beautiful, like all conclave ships, with smooth lines and glowing blue lights. But something was wrong. Dark shapes moved across its hull. Magnify, ordered Do-hyun. The image zoomed in. The dark shapes were crystal-like creatures about the size of dogs. They crawled over the ship, cutting through the hull with sharp limbs. What are those? Asked Navigator Jimin. Communications Officer Min-soo checked his database. No match. In conclave records. They appear to be silicon-based life forms. The ship's crew calls them shards. Do-hyun made a quick decision. Prepare boarding teams, we're going to help them. Security Chief Junho Baek led the rescue team. They wore spacesuits with magnetic boots and carried non-lethal weapons. The conclave had strict rules against harming any sentient life. As they approached the damaged science vessel, they saw bodies floating in space. The sight made Junho's stomach tighten. He had never seen dead aliens before. The shards have broken through to the main lab, said a surviving crew member who met them at the airlock. The alien's name was Lorith, and he looked like a tall, thin human with purple skin and no hair. They're after our research samples. How many crew are still alive? Asked Junho. 17. The rest are gone. The shards killed them when they tried to communicate. Junho led his team through the damaged ship. They found the shards in the main lab. The creatures were breaking open containers and absorbing the contents. When they noticed the humans, they turned their sharp crystal bodies toward them. They're coming this way, said team member Hee-jin. What do we do? Junho remembered his orders. Stun settings only. We don't harm sentient life. The fight was difficult. The shards moved quickly and their bodies were hard to damage. Regular. Stun blasts bounced off their crystal shells. 2 human security officers were badly injured by the shards' sharp limbs. Then Junho noticed something. They don't like the cold, use the cryo sprayers. The team switched tactics using emergency freeze equipment to slow the shards down. It worked. The crystal creatures became sluggish in the cold. While half the team kept the shards contained, Junho led the others deeper into the ship to find survivors. They found a group of conclave scientists trapped in a small room. We need to get you out, said Junho. Follow us back to our ship. As they moved through the corridors, 3 shards suddenly appeared, cutting off their escape route. The largest shard lunged forward, aiming its sharp point at a young conclave scientist. Without thinking, Junho jumped in front of the scientist. The shard's crystal limb pierced his shoulder. Pain shot through his body, but he managed to fire his cryo sprayer, freezing the creature in place. Go! He shouted to the others. Get to the ship! By the time they all reached the Stellar Wind, 7 more shards had been contained. The human ship quickly moved away from the damaged science vessel. In the medical bay, doctors treated Junho's wound. The young conclave scientist he had saved came to see him. I don't understand, said the alien. "Why did you put yourself in danger for me? We are not the same species." Junho smiled through his pain. "It doesn't matter what species you are. We don't harm sentient life. And more than that, we protect it when we can." The alien touched its chest in the conclave gesture of deep respect. The council said humans were different. Now I understand how. Later, Captain Do-hyun received a message from the Conclave Council. They had been watching the rescue through the science vessel's cameras. The message was simple. We see now what humans bring to the galaxy. Not just the capacity for violence, but the choice to use that strength to protect others. Perhaps this is why you evolved as you did. The Conclave called an emergency meeting. All 73 member species sent representatives to the Great Hall. The room buzzed with nervous energy. Humans were the main topic. Ambassador Hanul. Song sat with her team. They felt the weight of every stare. News of the rescue mission had spread quickly. Some aliens saw humans as heroes. Others saw them as dangerous. The head counselor called for order. We gather today to discuss the human question. For 1 year, we have watched them closely. Now we must decide their future in the conclave. An alien with blue feathers spoke first. The humans saved our scientists when the shards attacked. They risked their lives for people not of their species. But they are predators, said another alien. This one looked like a tall insect. Their history is full of war and violence. They could turn on us. Hanul stood to address the council. She had prepared for this moment. Yes, our history includes violence, we don't deny it, but our history also includes healing, art, and compassion. She showed images from Earth. Doctors helping patients, people rescuing animals, families sharing meals. Humans have capacity for both great harm and great good, she said. We weren't born peaceful like many of you. We had to learn peace through hard lessons. An elder from a small rabbit-like species spoke. This is what concerns us. Your peace is a choice, not your nature. What happens if you choose differently tomorrow? Commander Iridian, who had become a friend to humans, stood next to Hanul. I have studied humans closely. Their strength comes from this very conflict within them. They understand violence in a way we cannot, and yet they choose to reject it. The debate continued for hours. Some wanted humans restricted to their own solar system. Others saw value in human protection against threats like the shards. During a break, Hanul met with Yul Jin, a human historian. How do we convince them? She asked. Show them the truth, said Yul Jin. All of it. When the council resumed, Hanul presented humanity's full history. Not just the good parts, but everything. The world wars, the weapons they built, the times they nearly destroyed themselves. We came close to extinction by our own hand, she admitted. But each time we pulled back from the edge. We learned. We grew. She showed how humans built institutions to prevent war, how enemies became friends over time, how people fought not just for their own kind, but for all life on Earth. Our compassion wasn't born from evolutionary necessity like yours, she explained. We developed it through choice, through philosophy, through seeing beyond ourselves. The council listened in silence. Then Junho, the security officer who had been injured saving the alien scientist, was invited to speak. His arm was still healing. I didn't think when I jumped in front of that shard, he said simply. I just couldn't watch someone die if I could prevent it. That wasn't training or orders. That was being human. The council debated through the night. In the morning, they called the human delegation back. The head counselor spoke first. For billions of years, the first law has guided us. We do not harm sentient life. It has been the foundation of peace. The room was completely silent. Today we amend this law. It shall now read, we choose not to harm sentient life. Murmurs spread through the room. Humans have taught us something valuable, continued the head counselor. Peace by choice is stronger than peace by nature. It requires constant vigilance and renewal. After the meeting, Iridian approached Hanul. This is unprecedented. The first law has never been changed. Is that good? Asked Hanul. It means humans have already changed the galaxy, said Iridian. You've made us question ideas we've held for thousands of years. Hanul watched the stars through a large window. I hope we change it for the better. That, said Iridian, will be up to all of us to choose. 10 years passed since humans joined the Galactic Conclave. In that time, they became important members of the galactic family. Human ships protected trade routes. Human doctors learned to heal many species. Human ideas spread through the Conclave. Admiral Tae-Won Kim, once captain of the First Contact ship, now led the Earth Defense Fleet. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Defender. Gray touched his hair now, but his eyes remained sharp. Admiral, we have an urgent message from Conclave Central, said Communications Officer Sun Hai. Taiwan nodded. Put it through. The main screen showed the head counselor. The alien looked worried. Admiral Kim, we need you at Central immediately. We have discovered something troubling. 2 days later, Taiwan sat in a secret meeting room deep inside the Conclave station. Around the table sat the leaders of all major species. Iridian, now a high-ranking official, led the meeting. Our researchers have found ancient records, said Iridian. Records that explain why we have never found evidence of civilizations older than 50,000 years. The room was silent as Iridian showed images of strange energy readings. Every 50,000 years a wave of energy passes through our galaxy. We call it the Void. It destroys advanced technology and wipes out civilizations. How do we know this is real? Asked Taiwan. Iridian pointed to data on the screen. The wave is coming again. Our sensors detect it building at the edge of the galaxy. We have perhaps 1 year before it reaches us. The council erupted in fearful voices. When order returned, an elder spoke. The records show what happened before. The most advanced species built ships to escape to other galaxies. They saved themselves and left the others behind. Taiwan frowned. They abandoned everyone else? It was the logical choice, said the elder. Save what you can. Later that day, Taiwan met with engineer Sumin Huang, the brightest mind from Earth. She had been studying the Void data. Can we stop it? Asked Taiwan. Sumin pushed her glasses up. Maybe. The Void is a wave of energy. If we create a counterwave, at the right points we might disrupt it. How? We would need ships positioned along the wave's path. They would use their drive cores to generate the counterwave. She paused. But the ships at the front would be destroyed. The energy is too powerful. Taiwan was quiet for a long time. Then he said, prepare the plans. I'll take them to Earth. 1 month later, representatives from all conclave species gathered on the station. Taiwan presented the human plan. We can stop the Void, he said. But it will require sacrifice. Ships must position themselves in its path and give everything. They have to create a counterwave. A tall alien stood. Who would do this? Who would die to save others? We would, said Taiwan. Earth ships will take the front positions, the most dangerous spots. The room buzzed with surprise. Why? Asked the head counselor. Why would you sacrifice yourselves for species not your own? Taiwan smiled gently. When we first met, you feared us because we evolved as predators. You thought it made us dangerous, maybe it did, but it also made us protectors. He showed images of Earth, parents protecting children, people running into burning buildings to save strangers, soldiers, jumping on grenades to save their friends. Humans have always been willing to die for what we believe in, he said. And we believe all life is precious, not just human life. One by one, other species joined the plan. The Zorans offered their fastest ships. The Kelti provided their best. Scientists, even the Shards, now new members of the Conclave, offered to help. 6 months later, the largest fleet ever assembled waited at the edge of the galaxy. At its front, human ships prepared to meet the Void. On the bridge of the Defender, Taiwan looked at his crew. They were scared but determined. In our history, humans have fought many enemies, he told them. But today we fight for something greater than ourselves. We fight for life itself. As the Void approached, glowing with deadly energy, Taiwan gave the final order. All ships activate counterwave generators. Remember why we're here. The first ships began to glow as they poured their energy into the counterwave. Some exploded in brilliant light. But behind them, the wave weakened. On the conclave station, aliens watched in awe as humans willingly gave their lives to save the galaxy. They truly are different, whispered Iridian. They don't harm humans or any sentient life. They protect them, even at the cost of themselves. The void finally broke apart under the combined power of the fleet. Many ships were lost, but the Umal galaxy was saved, and the fourth law was added to the conclave. We protect all sentient life,